Pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Judge Sharp, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Jones. Myers. Case. Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
Back number 2, comment. All questions, comments, Mr. Director, the mayor, the speaker will give 3 minutes on topics on agenda items only. The speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Please state your name for the record.
It's on. It's on. It's on.
Frank Howard.
Playing with it.
My question is, when you have a special meeting, the trustees get paid more, are the same thing. And if they get paid more, then why have a special meeting? Because what I'm saying is, the village is suffering financially. This is something that's been going on for, as long as it's been going on, it can go on a little while.
These agenda items only. Idiot.
Special meeting tonight, trustees didn't get paid more on the regular board meeting night. So we could have 3 or 4 meetings tonight all at once, so we get paid for 1 meeting.
I'm talking about.
Now, if we have a special meeting next week, they would get paid. However, we are not having a meeting next Tuesday, so it could pretty much be a wash if we look at it that way, because next Tuesday is Nights Out. So we'll all be in the park back here, which the trustees do not get paid for that Tuesday next week. So, next.
Bernice Brewer on behalf of Sauk Village Citizens Public Affairs. There are several items on the accounts payable that I don't know what they're for, and if you give me an explanation of what the vendor is. Can you tell me what Alvin Mackinson is? And can you tell me, Fairway Consultant, what is that for, and why are we paying them? I see here on here twice. Who is Reed Paxton? And also, I want to, I'm sorry, I got my original over here. It's my understanding that we have a contract with Fairman, with the man itself. So I want to know why we paying the consulting firm, and if we have a contract in with the consulting firm, what services that are being provided to us as Sauk Village residents. And the last item will know, since we have some department heads, I was wondering why no department heads address residents' issues. We talk to the department heads, they tell us that they can't talk to us or anything like that, so I want to know what's going on with those things. Do you want me to call up the names again?
No, okay. We'll go right now, Allen Mac, that's our normal, that's for well numbers 1, 2, and 3, they're ones that don't work. This is the same company that everyone asks about every single one when we pay them, because it's a large amount, that's through the IEPA loan.
They want what for us?
So those are the ones repairing the wells.
Very well.
And then we got Mr. Fairman, he's right there, he's our village administrator. Reed Paxton, he is the individual that Mr. Fairman took a cut in his pay. He took a $20,000 a year cut to bring in Mr. Paxton to help our community, and he's getting his $20,000. So rather than him getting his paid for his full amount, we brought in Reed Paxton. Reed Paxton used to be a mayor in which community? I'm sorry? In North Lake.
In North Lake.
So, North Lake, so he comes in with a lot of experience, and he's helping listen to our ordinances. He's out reaching out, trying to get grants, and just helping out in a lot of areas. So again, that's coming out of Mr. Fairman's salary to bring on additional help inside our community. Talked about the department heads that were here earlier tonight. Since the last meeting was so long, I told Mr. Fairman to tell them if they didn't want to stay, they didn't have to, because they got families of their own also. So I know that the chief has something tonight, so she ended up had to stay. So and then you talked about consultants. Did you catch that about consultants? Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
decide to pay, we get paid that way. And I'm still providing the services that the contract that I signed is under that same name. So I get paid exactly what you just told me.
All right,
We got a
next.
contract with you, but we paying your consulting firm.
I am the president consultant.
All right, next.
Mary, I'd like to know if the special meeting, when it was posted, and why it's not on the village website. So, I'd like to know why you appointed these trustees back in May, and now they're making more paperwork, more money. Did you change your mind about forming those committees and appointing those trustees to those committees? And why, since May, have those trustees been given reports on those committees? The ones that you say now are not sanctioned by the village.
Meeting was posted last Friday.
That's my knowledge, the special meeting notice was posted before 5 o'clock on Friday.
On the
Why-
website?
Excuse me, didn't let me finish. And to the best of my knowledge, it was sent to Gerald Pike, who posts on the website at the exact same time. Now, nobody brought it to my attention that it wasn't on the website, but sometimes it's in two different places. Sometimes you can find it on the front page, and sometimes it's in another place. He may not have put it in both places, but just so everybody is clear, we do not have to post on our website unless you have a full-time website administrator. That's a courtesy to the residents. I do my best to get it to the IT tech consultant, and nobody brought it to my attention that it wasn't on there. I would have rectified that situation immediately. And the minute I leave the boardroom, I will see if it's posted at least in one place. But just so everybody's clear, technically, you do not have a full-time IT person on staff. So posting it in the hallway, the place where the meetings being held, it fulfills all requirements, and we have an attorney here to back that. Thank you.
And response about appointing trustees?
I've talked about this long enough, so no response at this time.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Get back to me later.
Yeah,
I'll come out there, put down the original.
This accounts payable and payroll is from June 24th to December 28th. And on it, you have Mr. Fairman on it twice, getting $7,266.67. And you have Mr. Paxson also on it twice, getting $1,666.67 in the same time frame. I don't know why that was done. Mr. Fairman talked about an agreement that was signed, contract, or whatever you want to call it. I do not recall the board voting on that. I do recall the board voting on Mr. Fairman himself, that he had the right to appoint him. But as to his contract, that never came before the board that I'm aware of. And we have a video of every meeting. Also, on the committees, I belong to a couple of the committees, and I resent the fact that department heads are told not to talk to us for your orders. I mean, we have perfect questions. It doesn't matter whether I'm a resident or a part of the committee. They should have the right to answer questions that are not, I mean, they were based solely on what their titles are. And I feel that it is terribly wrong for you or Mr. Fairman to tell any department head not to talk to someone. And I feel that that is another thing. It's the first time that it's come out like this in the village of Sauk Village. I think the amount of money spent for these hours for the lawyer to get these ordinances together for committees is outrageous. I feel that You already had what you needed. And for the first time in a long time, I heard one of the bobbleheads say something that really made sense. Carry on the way you were and just add the other two. Didn't need to spend all that money for an attorney, and now he's gonna have to redo everything, and that's gonna be more money that supposedly we don't have. I also would like to know where we stand with the, applications for police chief.
Okay.
All right, first of all, I never told the department not to talk to the borough president. So, you know what? Miss Houston never came out and talked to me. So,
And I can talk to you, and that's not true.
so I
Jim has told me that directly himself, not to
No.
talk to me, about per your instruction.
ask that you please keep your comments to yourself.
Well,
This is a board meeting.
you said I'm
Miss
fine,
Houston,
you're not,
I'm asking you
you're
please.
not telling the truth yourself.
Miss Houston, I'm asking you please.
That's true, and you're not telling the
Be
truth.
quiet. So, I've never told the department head not to talk to residents. In fact, I encourage the department to talk to residents. DW can tell you that. So, the police chief position, see, it's been through the committee. They went from 20, oh, okay, so it's not on the agenda, you're right. So, accounts payable are for payroll dates, right? So, that's why they're on there, to get paid for the weeks they work. So, all right. Next.
I didn't understand anything you just said.
Next.
Just say you're not gonna answer, that's fine.
All right. Move to reports. The mayor's report. I have a proclamation for National Night Out. Says whereas the National Association of Town Watch, NATW, is sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drugs, and violence prevention program on August 4th, 2018, entitled National Night Out, and whereas the 32nd National Night provides a unique opportunity for the village of Sauk Village to join forces with thousands of communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts, and whereas the village of Sauk Village plays a vital role in assisting the Sauk Village Police Department through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in the village of Sauk Village, and is supporting Nights Out 2015 locally, and whereas it is essential that all citizens of the village of Sauk Village be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and impacts that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in the village of Sauk Village, and whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and board of trustees, do hereby call upon all citizens of the village of Sauk Village to join in supporting the National Association of Town Watch and the 32nd Annual National Night Out on August 4th, 2015. Further, let it be resolved that we, the mayor and the board of trustees, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, August 4th, 2015 as National Night Out in the village of Sauk Village, dated this 20th day of July. So, and then, with that said, move to village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank Kevin Weller in his absence for working on getting the microphones and the speakers repaired in the boardroom. However, we still need to use the mics in order to be able to be heard through the speakers, so we need to move the mics as close to us as possible so they can have their greatest effect. And please, if we have batteries that are running low, let me know. We'd be more than happy to change them. Also, I'd like to mention that last Friday, I attended the quarterly Community Southland Economic Development meeting that was held in Thornton, along with the Housing Commission and J.W. Fairman. And we were very happy to see Trustee Burgess and Trustee Tates also in attendance. And later that day, I attended the Human Relations Commission Diversity Dinner, and that was a huge success with lots of food and great conversation. Everyone totally enjoyed themselves, and flyers for the National Night Out are back at the table. I'd like to talk more about National Night Out, but due to the hour I won't. I'm just asking everybody to please get a flyer, look at all the activities, and Every year, we have added more and more activities to National Night Out. This is a community night out. It's a partnership night. It's a night to bring the community out so that we all can play and have fun together. And if you have any questions about National Night Out, please see either Deputy Chief Salisbury, Chief Stockbreaker, or myself. And also, I did send a reminder out to all the trustees regarding the Open Meetings Act, as far as trustees meeting 3 at a time to discuss village business. Now, there is a big difference between 3 trustees meeting in the back room discussing village business. That is inappropriate and a violation of Open Meetings Act. I sent a reminder out on July 25th to all of the board members, department heads, and everybody who may be involved in that situation. However, if you have a committee meeting, whether it's a regular board meeting or whether it's a housing commission or a lake commission and water committee or public relations committee, it's acceptable for more than 3 trustees to be in attendance because that meeting has been properly posted. And as far as the ordinance that I just read earlier today, it says in there that the village clerk will post the agendas for these meetings. That has never been done before. It has always been the responsibility of the chair of the committee person. With all the committees, as the attorney just said, this village has more committees and commissions than most villages have, some couple, 3, 4 times together. And it's not my responsibility to post their meetings. Their meetings sometimes change. It has always been the chair of the committee, their responsibility to post their agendas, and I would hope that that continues, and that those agendas are posted within 48 hours at the location of the place where the meeting is to be held, with the time that the meeting is going to be held. So the time, location, and what's going to happen at that meeting. And again, I'd like to reiterate, I apologize if the special meeting agenda is not on the website, but the attorney is here, and if anybody has any questions before you leave the room tonight, it's very clearly stated in the state statutes that if you don't have a full-time IT person on board, on staff, that they do not have to be posted on your website. However, I make every attempt to make sure every agenda is passed on to the appropriate person, but I don't physically put it on the website. If anybody ever sees that there's not an agenda posted on the website, could you please contact me as soon as possible, and I will make sure that that is rectified immediately. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Village Attorney, Attorney McGrath. Thank you, Mayor, no report. Village Engineer, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Regarding the 2015 MFT CDBG resurfacing project, the project is complete. Only paperwork remains for the state and the county. We are submitting the form work for 100% drawdown for the CDBG funding, so hopefully Mohani will be getting that soon. Bad news. Cook County just released the list of CDBG funded projects for 2016, and Sauk Village is not one of them. We contacted the county for an explanation for this. They said that fewer projects are being funded at higher dollar amounts, and that funding will not be on an annual basis anymore. This is strange. This is a complete deviation from anything we've done in the past. They suggested that we contact the deputy director for a detailed explanation, and we're doing that, and we'll follow up and find out exactly what happened. It's very disappointing. And then finally, the update on the water treatment plant improvements project. The project is essentially complete. There's just a few remaining items, like some punch list issues, and then we have to close out the documentation with the IEPA. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, Mr. Freeman.
Mr. Mayor and Board, I met with Rick Garcia, the Sheriff's Office, and they have agreed to come out here and do a lot of mooring about our lawns and our parkways, rather, and these vacant properties. Actually, go in and moor those vacant properties. Additionally, they also, there's another program they're talking about providing for us, is the ability to tear down houses that have been condemned. And they're especially expected to come out here twice this month. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm reviewing with the attorneys the FOP contract. Obviously, I'll be scheduling some dates with you to interview the applicants for the 5 applicants or 6 applicants, 5 scorers for the chief of police position. That is my report.
Thank you. Move to reports of trustees, board committees, communication committee, The Beautification Committee has been out judging for 2015 Bootsies. The committee will have the awards given out in the next 2 weeks. We're giving out 123 awards this year for our residents and 2 business awards. The committee will be selling walking tacos at National Nights Out on August the 4th. The next committee meeting will be held on August 19th, 2015 at 7 p.m. here at the Village Hall. And as always, the committee is always looking for members and volunteers to report. Move to Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee Jones.
Parks and Recs is always looking for volunteers and new ideas. You feel free to speak to me. I'm very approachable. If you have any suggestions to connect with the community, to bring the community together with any improvements, or I'm open for them. The next committee meeting will be August 6th at 7 p.m. in the community center. That concludes my report.
Trustee with the Public Safety Orders Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things tonight. The ordinance committee met last week. We reviewed the fireworks ordinance. Our fireworks ordinance definitely needs to be worked on. The couple of police officers and sergeants, the police department gave me some suggestions, brought to the committee. We wrote on things, but basically what it's going to boil down to is that there's no words in our ordinance that says you can't light fireworks. It says you're not supposed to have them in your vehicles and everything. But so we're asking we're going to process it back and meet with the deputy chief and see if we can't get a mirror to the Illinois State statute on the fireworks thing. It's a state law, but yet the right things locally we don't have in our ordinance, so we're working on that. Also, the couple of officers asked a couple of our committee members if we could check into the ordinance that pertain to heavyweight truck traffic for our town. And if I'm not mistaken, Chief Titten, we have a couple of truck ordinance officers, correct?
Yeah, our truck enforcement guys have been back and forth with trucks for the last, 4 weeks now.
Would you mind if I talk to them and give them the address that they constantly see some of my trucks slowing them down? They maybe in that area that gets stopped and asked them, what is a 22,000-pound truck doing in our roads? So they saw him in the residential area, and it seemed like they're here 2 or 3 nights a week. So
Any officer can issue the overweight, over 8,000 pounds for any vehicle parked. It doesn't have to be a truck enforcement.
So
The commercial trucks that are overweight with the trailers, so that's what our truck enforcement guy goes.
this particular one, they said they had a huge load of flatbed steel on top of it, and I know that's not proper weight for our streets. So I'll turn it over to
I was given
the.
a list by Kevin Weller of some of the hot spots where these trucks were.
Yeah.
So just verify with Kevin Weller. If it's not on that list, I'll add it to the list. The list was distributed at Will Call.
I give it to you after the meeting, or give it to the sergeant. That's it.
Sure.
All right, I think that's concluded my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Newman. Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to say that we have our program in full swing right now for our back-to-school safety rally and book bag giveaway. We do have the flyers on the back table for those of you that want to take a flyer and let your neighbors know that have children. And we will be passing out book bags on Monday, August the 17th. Also, these notices will be placed in the stores so that the residents can know exactly when and where the book bag giveaway is going to be. We've had 2 tag days out of 3 so far, and I want to thank all of the people that have helped to sponsor and volunteer with that tag day to help in front of Walgreens at the intersection. It's been very exciting talking to the residents. I love doing tag day because the residents, they love, they want you to come to the car, and then they want to take everything that's wrong with the really for the light turns from green to red. It's just a very exciting time to talk with the residents, being out there. People may look at it as work, I look at it as a great opportunity to talk with our residents as well. We've already had 2 very successful tag days. We have 1 more tag day that's scheduled for August the 4th, and our times for those tag days, if anybody want to volunteer, is from 7 a.m. in the morning to 11, and then we come back from 4 to 7. We'll have our next neighborhood watch on the second Monday, of course, in August, which is August the 10th, at the fire station. And finally, we have a bling, really sparkly book bag that we're raffling. The bag valued at $35. We took it up to different entities in the village. People have really been supportive to buy raffle tickets for $1. So we're going to pull names tonight for the book bag giveaway. And whoever gets the book bag, so the name is poor, that's who will get that particular book bag. I want to thank the village for their support so far. We're looking forward to having a packed out house again. The students that they're calling, the parents that they're calling, they're not taking names. It's on a first come basis. They have to be residents of Sauk Village and show their ID, and it's only going to be 2 book bags per household. So we're passing out, look like we're going to have more than 200 book bags again this year. So if you know any families that need book bags, let them know about our book bag giveaway. I want to thank all of you that's been bringing supplies like out today. I'm not going to call no names, but thank you for all of the notes and the pens. Thank you for all of the things that you bring in all during the day and have the staff to put it on my desk. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. With the Public Relations Committee, Outreach Partnership Committees, Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To start off, I have a question for Trustee Burgess. Public Relations is scheduled for next week, Wednesday the 5th. I'm actually not available that day. Are you available on the 12th? The following week?
Yes.
Okay, the Public Relations Committee will be meeting on the 12th of next month instead of the second Wednesday, not the first Wednesday, at 5:30. That's what we need now, 5:30. 6 o'clock, 5:30 because, library, home, an hour, we say 5:30. If somebody does have to be late for that, I understand, but 5:30 on the 12th, and I do apologize that I'm not available that day. Also, one of the items that I'm going to bring up to the committee, something I wanted to share tonight, is I also went to the diversity dinner last week Friday, and it was a very good event. And coming from that, and not to step on the toes of the Human Relations Commission at all, but one of the things that we had, the Human Relations Commission had certain topics. A lot of those topics kind of fell into trustees and board members, and not politically, but kind of how they could help. So one of the things that I thought about that I'm going to bring to my committee is doing something similar, probably not a dinner, maybe more like a brunch, but having board members be able to have their talk about their committees in the same fashion. And for anybody who hasn't been to a diversity dinner, how it's set up is there's tables that have different topics. There was ethnicity, diversity, religion, that kind of thing. Each table had a time limit. You went to the table, you talked about, with new people, you talked about that topic. After the time limit, you moved on to a different table until everybody had the opportunity to go to each table. What I would like to do, after all the committees are ironed out, what I would like to do is have each trustee sit at a table and talk about their committee and give the residents of Sauk Village the opportunity to meet said trustee. We do have 2 new trustees on board. Meet said trustee, have that trustee be able to identify what their committee does. Say all of us are always looking for more volunteers, and kind of the same kind of way that the diversity was held. Obviously, it's not ironed out. It's something that I thought of since last week. I will be presenting it to my committee. So that is something that we will be moving forward on. But it was something I was excited about, so I wanted to kind of present it now. And part of that meeting, and I was going to say this for miscellaneous, one of the things that we talked about was youth services program. And Trustee Jones, I did want to say, I don't know if the ideas were passed on to you from that meeting last week Friday, but one of the ideas that were brought up that we actually discussed at length that I thought was a really good idea was we talked about the lack of volunteers and how sometimes if you have a lack of volunteers, you can't run a program. So one of the things that we brought up to talk about was if a parent, let's say I'm going to choose basketball. If basketball price is $50, I don't know how much it costs, but if it's $50, if a parent was able to volunteer to to run the concession stand, to do whatever. Every time they volunteer, that time could be a lot of the dollar amount. And they would pay the $50 up front, but if they volunteered 5 times, and each time is worth 5 times, at the end of the season, they could get a refund of $25. It might be an incentive to have people volunteer, which would then have the program prolonged. Now, understandably, if the program takes $50 to run, we don't want to lose money, so you might have to maybe add more money. I'm not sure the logistics, but I thought it might be a good way to get people, have an incentive to volunteer, because unfortunately, some of the programs turn into babysitting services. There were more, and the commissioner, I did suggest that she pass those along to you. I'm not sure if she did, but if she did not pass it on to you, let me know. I think I know the president of that committee, of that commission, and I'll talk to the president and have him get those ideas so that I can pass them along to you. Because just the time I set the table, we talked about a lot of stuff. And I think it was good. And I guess I can just do it now. Is there a report about us this year?
Pardon?
Is there a report about us?
Yes. I'm going to go over it with the committee to make sure I want to look for the first Saturday in September, right before Labor Day.
That's it?
First Saturday. Yeah.
I was going to volunteer for the corn. The last couple of years I've done it, and I don't even know. Okay. That's it.
Well, that's what I'm shooting for. So.
I mean, don't don't change it on my account, but
Well, like I said,
I volunteer to help do corn.
Right, so I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to see, I'm going to bring it up. That's why I didn't make an announcement about anything, because I know it is that weekend, and if everyone is going to be out of town again, I'm not going to go through that again. So that's why I didn't even bring it up yet. So.
That's all I got.
All right, move to reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Move to police department with Chief Salisbury.
Thank you. Okay, from June 28th to today's date, July 28th, the Sauk Village Police Department conducted 1,522 calls for service. Out of those, 19 adults were transported to the Adult Detention Center. 9 juveniles were arrested, 2 of which were transported to the Juvenile Detention Center. We had 182 traffic stops, resulting in 83 traffic citations. We had 17 various types of burglaries reported, 4 arrests, 4 burglaries, 2 were adults, 2 were juveniles. We had 2 search warrants executed. 1 resulted in a backyard that was used for cultivating marijuana plants. Another one was a family that was uncooperative with a vicious dog case and did have to get a search warrant. We had a total of 81 total arrests. Our truck enforcement officers issued 20 citations between these dates, with an estimated total of $23,400 in fines being assessed. On July 3rd, we had another prostitution sting. We made 22 arrests for prostitution and pimping. 12 vehicles were towed, and we served 1 warrant. 3 guns were seized, and correspondingly, we had 3 felony arrests for those weapons violations. National Night Out, we were able to obtain bouncy house. Rosie, for Parks and Recs, even if parents volunteer, they still require a background check.
Okay.
We don't charge Parks and Recs employees or volunteers, the parents do it, but we do pay a fee. Well, I don't know what the average fee, I want to say it estimates out to about $45
and every time we run prints through that live scan. So there is a cost associated with it to the village, but we don't extend the cost back to the volunteers, only the Sauk Village volunteers. Mr. Reed and I are working and discussing about instituting a fee for fingerprinting because we're getting a lot of people coming from other communities because their communities charge and we don't. So we're trying to offset some of that. I'm sure Mr. Brown will tell you more about that. And then for the officers, recently, I had to have the officers start completing all the tasks that the dispatchers were doing. I found it best for them to start doing that now while the Kurt's dispatchers are still in the building. Our estimated move date is August 4th. So the officers can train and transition themselves their data to answer any questions or assist the officers with all this additional data entry. When they move out on the 4th, hopefully the officers will already be self-sustained and shouldn't have too many glitches and the officers taking over that long list of duties that they'll be doing. I gave each trustee a packet. I know the mayor and Mr. Reed challenged all the department heads to see if we could come up with some cost-saving initiatives. Took quite a while to review all the policies and procedures. Again, I have to work in the framework of the guidelines of the FOP contract. So reviewing our current schedule of policies and procedures, I was able to come up with 3 policy changes. The first policy change in the packet I gave there, if you go to page 3 under general, you'll see A, B, and C. That just briefly describes the 3 changes I'm interested in instituting. There's no changing in the contract or no changing in anything that's already stipulated. All it is it's readjusting management rights. So there's no contract violation. So first, by altering the 5-3 schedule. The 5-3 schedule is explained to you in great detail on page 4. It breaks it down per hours, per schedule, per shift. Gives you example of the record keeping we do to keep track of the hours at the end of the year that the officers have to complete for the buyback. So by changing the wording and the requirements of buyback, these are hours that the officers already paid for. But by changing the requirements for them to be in full uniform and working in detail, we actually are able to take advantage of another 270 hours of putting officers back on the street. That's 15 officers that are under this 5-3 program. They're scheduled. And it comes back, each officer has to pay back at 18 hours annually. So if you multiply that by the 15, you get 270 hours that each officer that we would recoup annually. If you break that down to dollars, you figure the average hourly wage is $34.69. So just those 15 officers annually will get $9,366.30 value. On B and C is a kind of combined effort. It has to do with court calls and our contractual way we pay our employees for attending court. They get a mandatory 3 hours pay. It doesn't necessarily mean they're being in court for 3 hours all the time. So by instituting a court sergeant, assign them in and out, that means that the employees, if they spend a half hour or 20 minutes in court, we will actually require them to stay in uniform and to fill in with the detail the other 2.5 hours that they're already being paid for. So it's just a simple changing of the wording and a simple change. It's not a contract violation, it falls for management's rights. It's just, it's got to be extended to the union. Whoever's doing the contract negotiations, I wasn't aware of that, it's already began. That would be the best time to institute it. And so once we get the buy-in, you know, it has the highest probability of success. So if you flip all the way to the back page, by adding all the court hours, 3 hours or 2.5 hours for every officer that attends court monthly for every month, and if you add the state court call, obviously state court call is a little bit different because they are trained, they are driving to and from our court. But again, court officer, court sergeant would be in charge, and the officers would be required to fill in the time that they're already being paid for. So at the end of the year, an approximate number is 894 hours that I've been able to put back into uniform patrol. Comes out to $31,012.86 annually. This is money that we're already paying the officers. It's just a matter of changing the verbiage around and actually having them suit up and continue working those hours. So those are the 3 cost-cutting initiatives I was able to come up with for Mr. Lee's challenge.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question for Chief. This was done by you, this cost saving initiative,
Yes, it is done by me, and if you notice, I put on there that it is a draft, it is a work in progress. It goes under the table of contents, it kind of breaks that down. Again, the best way to get this to work successfully is to always get buy-in. So we need to sit down with the union stewards and explain that. They've already been advised of it, they're already aware of it. There was,
My second question, does this have to be part of their contract, or can you as an administrator initiate this?
No, it's already in their contract. This is the pay they already received.
I'm just saying, in other words, when you restructure like that, you don't have to go back to you, you can do this yourself.
That's correct.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On average, for the court costs, is there a lot of, I don't want to use the word, wasted hours?
Local court, yes. State court is hard to judge, local court more so. That's why local court, I was able to put in the more hours, on there. State court I had to approximate because you have to consider travel time and, it does require a court officer, so that, a court sergeant, but there's a sergeant there anyway. And the sergeant goes to court as well as the officers. It's just a matter of writing a policy which stipulates now the responsibility of a sergeant is to sign in and out of court, so we can better keep track of that time.
But you would include travel time at that time too, right?
Yes, they come to the station, they clock in because they have to get their files. And they go to records, they collect what they need for court, and then they go to court. So they're paid from the time they come in to the building and clock.
Deputy Chief.
Yes, sir.
Earlier you were speaking of the truck enforcement program, if I can call it that.
Sure.
Have we started recouping any monies from the violations that we're getting?
No, his first, the fines are issued are set, so kind of like the bond amounts, but he's only been out for a few weeks, and court cases are signed every month throughout the whole year, so his first court cases won't be coming up till August, and then from then on, we should start seeing it. And then I do have to mention, if you guys are not aware, I have a detective who is out on injury, and he's been out on injury for a while. My one detective that is working has not had a day off at all. He's on call. So this gentleman has been very kind, and he has pushed back his vacation. He's scheduled to leave town on 2 occasions. He's canceled that. So I did have to, I gave the new schedule to Mr. Fairman there. I do have to rotate some officers in and out of investigations, some of the more senior guys who have some of the training, but one of which is my truck guys. I don't have a choice because I have to give my employee fair time off. He can't be on call 24 hours forever. So he needs some time off. He's been working a lot hard. So there's going to be some days that the truck guy's not going to be doing truck until I can get him back in.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, Food Finance Director, Mr. Lowe.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to give you a report on the public works because it's such an important area. Kevin Weller and his staff, which now is 9 people, including him, continue to work on cutting the grass, cutting and working on the fire hydrants and other services that we provide. That's why we brought in Cook County in, so Kevin could go around and try to maximize his personnel. I wanted to also say that, I brought in, I met with former Mayor Hazel, and I asked him about the Public Works Department and what I can do about it. He said that when he was a mayor, I just asked him, the mayor knows this, he said that when he was a mayor, he had 16 people in Public Works, and he hired summer help. And I know that the village, is starved for money, but if we're ever going to come up, we're going to have to seriously think about doing some with Public Works one way or another. That's my report.
Yeah. Mr. Earl?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and the board. There are a couple of things. The finance department has reported the final report for 2 of the grants that were unfortunately terminated by the state of Illinois with the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. One grant was for $25,000 that is entirely meant for fire hydrant repair and replacement. The other one was $50,000 for D-box as well as fire hydrants. Due to the budget cut, the governor of state of Illinois discontinued the program, thereby we have gotten the report and we got only a partial amount of the grant that was included for it. And I have already reported the final report and waiting for the balance of money that should be reimbursed for those 2 grants. Next thing is the audit is on its way and 90% of the work has been completed by the auditors. Another 10% is remaining. There are 2 main thing that I should report is the police pension fund financial report that is due, and the police pension fund has reported me that it's going to be done by August 15th, as well as fire pension fund. Hopefully by then, by the end of September, August 31st, or at the latest, by September 15th, the financial report as well as the audit work should be done and must be wrapped up and it will be completed. The third one is I'm trying to get the treasurer's report as well as the 3-month financial report. Once I upload the budget to the system, I didn't have a chance to upload the budget to the system. Once probably it will take another 2-3 days to get the budget done and upload into the system. I should be able to generate 3 months financial report for the board to review. The quarterly reviews of the financial report will be done pretty soon, probably by the beginning of the first of the August, probably by August 1st week. It should be done and it should move forward with the financial report. And we'll also meet with the department directors to go over with the budget. That is my report.
Thank you. The Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Steve,
I have a question before you move on.
Justin?
You may not remember, there was an issue where the pension was not included in the audit, and we ended up paying an extra $10,000, I think it was, to include it. A couple of months ago. We paid extra because it was not included in the audit.
Yes.
So my question is everything that should be in the audit there so that we aren't assessed additional money because we have to add something?
Let me get back with that information.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. Let me go with the financials and get back.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last Friday, the Human Relations Commission had held its 2nd annual diversity public dinner at the Senior Center. And we'd like to thank everybody who attended, especially the ones who brought food, and the dedicated volunteers who helped with the setup and cleanup. The topics of discussion we had were diversity, ethnicity, private identity, public safety, youth groups, and their impact on the community. And what we did is we had 20 minutes for each discussion topic, and the participants were asked to switch tables so that we could have a variety of discussion. And the underlying theme was to demonstrate that issues of diversity in the community could be The survey sheets that were distributed for feedback and participant comments indicated that those who attended enjoyed the format and discussion. After the dinner, everyone pitched in to restore the facility as we found it, and everything was fine. The Human Relations Commission sent thank you cards to all participants in appreciation for our event. Our goal is to bring the community together and discuss the issues of diversity. And we look forward to events such as this in the future and are open to suggestions to promote these ideas. The next meeting of the Human Relations Commission is on August 3rd at 7 p.m. in the conference room in Village Hall. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Holcomb, Housing Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next housing commission meeting will be on August 13th, Thursday, in the boardroom at 7 p.m.
Okay, the City Committee, Chairperson Rose Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, August 3rd, is our next blood pressure screening in the Senior Center office from 1 to 2 a.m. As you know, the program is for all village residents and village employees, not just seniors. On the second Monday, August 10th, we have blood pressure screening, which precedes our 12:30 monthly movie, which is Arsenic and Old Lace, at the County Library. Light refreshment will be provided by the library, or you may bring a brown bag lunch. The committee sponsors Silver Cedar classes held every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. It's free to Silver Cedar members, and only $2 per class for non-members. However, for both classes, the cost is $3. Our paperback book program continues to be very successful. We thank the many donors of paperback. The hardcover books are being donated to McCounty Library to make paperback. Only large print hardcovers are welcome. The Boone Township Annual Senior Picnic is on Thursday, August 6th at the Veterans Memorial Park, 19101 Halsted in Glenwood. The picnic is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They have information on senior service providers from 9 to 11 a.m. Fence tickets for $3, and I do have them. Cost at the picnic will be $4. Senior Wheels will provide township seniors free ride to the picnic. You can call 708-754-8200 a day or two to make your arrangement. For additional information on various senior programs, you can call 708-754-9400, extension 244. The CNN Community Nutrition Network provides affordable meals for seniors 60 plus years, spouses may be any age. Chicago Heights Cafe at 1601 Chicago Road is the closest location to Sauk Village. The meals are partially funded by A. Johnson and are served Mondays through Fridays at about 11:30. Cost varies from $2 to $2.50 at various locations. The Chicago Heights Cafe hours are 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. They play bingo at 10:30. For additional information, you can call 756-5350 for Chair Passmore and Chicago Heights Site Manager. The three senior organizations meeting on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday in the Senior Center welcome seniors 50 years young and older. Annual due varies for each group. You can see posted calendar with dates and time. The committee sponsors an open senior activity day on the second and fourth Friday from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. Argumentative discussion will not be tolerated and may be asked to leave during this social time. Various games are available, or you may bring your own games. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. On the consent agenda, is there anything on the consent agenda trustees have an issue or problem with? Okay, hearing none, I have a motion to approve consent agenda. So that when it's voted on, it's a consent from the board, that's the way it's set up. Okay. And we will go along with it. All right, we have any business. Motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements for June 24th, 2015.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, can you kind of explain to the trustee that if you feel that you want to take something off of the consent agenda before it's voted on, you can ask to remove an item. And then the rest of the board can vote on everything that they agree on. In other words, if you feel that there's something on that consent agenda that you didn't agree with, before he takes a vote, he could ask if there anybody wants to have anything removed. If you do want to have something removed, now's the time to say, I want to remove X or Y or whatever it is. Then they will vote on the rest of the items that were consented. So that's all.
Just so you realize, you voted no for everything on the consent agenda. So,
When you do that, it becomes it doesn't become a consent agenda anymore. That's all. But the mayor can tell you ahead of time that, but you didn't know, and that's why I was saying, you know. No, I'm just saying, he didn't know, so I'm asking.
Trustee said he did know. So I just.
Baby.
Right. Motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements for June 24th, 2015 through July 28th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve? Sure. Motion second. Questions or comments?
Questions?
Trustee.
I'm a little confused with Mr. Fairman. I had thought Mr. Fairman was an employee of the village, but on this he's listed as a consultant. And I'm wondering what are the guidelines when all the employees are reporting to him. As an employee, I would understand as a village manager, I would understand employees reporting to him as a senior supervisor. As a consultant, I don't understand the connection of employees reporting to a consultant as a supervisor.
Mr. Fairman is an employee of the village. This is how he chooses to be paid. To be paid through his consultant, through his, when he has it set up. So.
And he continues to supervise employees. That's a question.
He is an employee of the village. In fact, he's an officer of the village.
He doesn't receive benefits, correct?
He didn't choose to. In fact, that was another cost savings for the village. Didn't have to pay for benefits.
There's several, from the police and fire department especially, their budgets were affected by curbs. And I'd like to understand why deductions were made from those two departments for curbs.
The way it was budgeted. The way it was budgeted. During budget, we talked about how portions were taken out of the police department and for the fire department both.
The item on page on page 5, account 100 205 720,000. It has Ingalls Occupational Health Drug Screening for $95, excuse me, $55. What was that related to?
Drug test?
Is the employee related?
Excuse me.
It is the employee related. I can let you know the employee.
No, you can't really know the employee. It's personal. No, you can't say anything about it. It's for a drug test, for an employee.
It says so.
I can read it.
Oh, I can read very well.
Just say, it says the drug screen.
You understand something? English was not my household first language, but I learned to speak English. I learned to read English, and I read it as well as you do. So, this is the third time. This is the third time. When you don't get answers you like, you want to make it personal.
Really?
Do not make it personal with me.
I think you can make personal claims.
No. I react to you.
Well, you make a personal claim.
I'm going to be rejected.
If you want to make it personal, we can do that.
So the item in question was due to an employee drug test. Could it be possible that the board received an email regarding maybe not necessarily the circumstances leading up to that? Was there an incident, did the person get hurt, and then they had to go have a drug test, whatever it was, could the board please have an email regarding that question?
Done?
I had a question about the Metropolitan Reclamation District, but you covered those, thank you very much, in your presentation. Because there were charges that were listed to the inflow and infiltration, but you responded to all those, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I surrender the floor.
When was this put in trustee boxes? When was this put in trustee boxes?
I think it was Saturday.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Trustee.
I see there was a lot of payout to Dell Marketing for desktop computers. Was that part of those computers that we purchased? Or is this something different? I see it in the police department, they had a line item for that, and then it was different departments. It was in ESDA had a line item for desktop computers. I was just wondering, and then the fire department had a line item for desktop computers. Are these for the purchase of computers? Because I thought we did that under that $200,000.
No, it's different, entirely different, I was saying $200,000.
What is this?
It's for it is for the computers, individual computer, desktop computers. 5 for fire department, 12 for police department, and 1 for that department.
I thought we had 30. I thought we brought 35 computers.
No, this one is different computer. It's a laptop.
Oh, so we brought, okay, the 35 computers that we brought, police department got some of those special ones that were notebooks or were going in the cars and things. And then I also asked at that time, the other computers that we brought, you was told, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that it was told that they were going to go into the different departments to replace the ones that they had.
Sure.
Okay, so then what are these for?
It is for to replace the old computers.
So basically we replaced them twice? I mean,
Question? We approved the purchase of those computers, right? What I'm assuming this is just the payout. It's addressing the money that we've already approved. We're showing that this much came from police, this much came from fire, this much came from SB.
if that's the case, then trustee, it doesn't add up to $200,000. So this is, and that's why I asked him, is this also in conjunction? In other words, we had 35 computers that we had the invoices for. Are these additional to those other 30? In other words, is it, I don't know how many these are, but are these more computers other than the 35 that we brought?
We didn't get them all from Dell.
Okay,
There
well,
were some, what came from Dell? The Dell were those the desktops. So the Dell ones were the desktops, and then the special.
I know we didn't get them all. You're absolutely right. We got 17 from one and 18 from another. I know that I'm asking for these. These are newer, these are different than those 35. You just stated that. These are different than the 35.
Let me do one thing. Let me send you all the details of the computer.
Okay, I'm just looking at that, and they don't add up to 200,000. So I'm just wondering, because we were told that other money was paid for, so we'd be compliant.
It's not 200,000. It's approximately about $18,000.
Well, no, this is. Yeah, this is. But the money that we voted out were for computers, and it added up to over $200,000. That includes right. That includes that. Okay, I understand that. That's why I asked him, were these different than those 35?
So, Mohan, you're going to send the board what these items are referring to.
Excuse me, just what did you say, Mr. Mayor?
$200,000 was, if you remember, it was for the Dell computers, it was for the computers that go inside the squads cars and for the fire trucks. You've got the software, there was a large part of that whole entire amount to be paid out.
Okay, because I asked that question.
The Dell computers that you see, I think it's in the teens, so.
Okay, no, I asked that question when we voted this out, and I was told that some of those, yes, they went 35 computers, some of them with the police department got special computers that were 5,000 each.
No, there's total, I don't remember the top number, it's 35, but the police department got so many Dell computers, you're getting so many of the car computers, the laptops that go inside your cars. The fire department got so many computers, you get so many that go inside the fire trucks. That is I think they get a small amount, maybe one or two that go inside the office, and then one or two go inside the car.
Okay, that's what I mean, it was told to me that some of those computers absolutely went into the offices. And that's what I was asking. Now we got another purchase of computers for the different offices, and I was asking, my question was, okay, you answered that one question, stating this is different than that purchase. Are these computers that were purchased for compliance with CURS, or are these computers that were to update what we have?
I will let you know by tomorrow.
Well, listen, what we would propose is that every computer we purchase, Mr. Mohan will give it to each one of these trustees and where it came from and how much it cost. That way there's no question about it. It add up to what it is and we can explain to them.
Mr. Fairman, I was not questioning what added up. I was questioning the line item on the accounts payable, because I do know that we did just purchase some computers. And I see now in those same departments that we purchased computers, now they have desktops. I thought they were both the same. Now I'm not asking about what added up. I'm not trying to find out how much it added up to. I'm just wondering, are these in addition to those 35? And he stated yes. That's all I've asked.
No, but I'm just saying, to be precise, I'm not being argumentative with you. All I'm saying is every computer that we purchase, you can see where it's from CURS. I'm not saying anything, but, we got every computer we purchased, what it cost, where it went, and where it came from.
Okay, that's all I asked, because I do know we purchased it. That's what I asked. I mean, if we're purchasing different computers other than the ones we did, I just want to know that.
So you're saying that Mr. Moore said that these 18 are
No. I don't know how many of these are.
Well, okay,
I don't know how many. I just
so
know
whatever's in the accounts payable, you're saying that
it's different than
that was different.
That's different, right? It's different than the ones now.
Was that a mistake or?
What's in the accounts payable is what the village board had already approved.
Okay.
They're not additional computers, they're what the village board, remember your accounts payable, it goes all the way back to June.
Yes, it does.
I just want to make it clear that because Trustee Burgess is saying that Mr. Rouse said something different than what I understood. So, to make it clear, these are computers that we've already approved, they're just allocating the funds from what account.
Correct.
Okay, so then
we still have.
writing that would be great.
So we still have, I don't know how many, I'm just throwing a number out there, we still have 20 some computers to basically pay for it. That's going to show up on every accounts payable. That's what you're saying.
18 computers. This amounts to about 17 computers. There is one more award for 18 computers.
So this little amount here that we're talking about, it amounts to 17 computers. Wow, that's about 25,000. So that's very cheap. I don't know where that 20,000 came from.
My point to the mayor and the board is that, when we try to remember stuff, he doesn't have it down, it's better to give you factual information, where it cost, where it came from, it's not being funny, so that, and I would, if I don't know, I would like Mr. Mohan to say, I will get you exactly the information for what we purchased in the computer during this year and where it came from. That will answer everybody's question.
I agree. I just want to make sure that these were in addition to.
I thought they were coming.
Right, and I want to get that clarification.
Okay.
On record, that these are not in addition to, but if we can please have the additional information, that'd be great.
And also, I have another one for immediate checks for Kurtz. Are we going to be paying Kurtz and Calcom, or are we going to be paying Calcom and not Kurtz? I mean, because right now, this check was written to Kurtz, but we have a contract with Calcom, so.
Until August of 4th, we will be paying to. Until August of 4th, we will be paying to Kurtz. After August 4th, moving forward, we will be paying it to Calcom.
Okay, so, because I know that the contract we had is, the first payment is due October for Calcom. The first payment, that's what's on the contract, October 1st. So that means we're gonna get September free, hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
If we get the free ride.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. Okay.
All right, anything else? Motion is second, will clerk please call roll?
Jones?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
All right, item number 8, motion, no, you know what? I'm not doing it. Item number 10, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees, trustee Williams.
Question. The village clerk stated earlier that, it's in an ordinance that the village clerk will post the agendas for the committees.
No. I said that in the ordinance that was presented to the
That
board
was
tonight.
it's actually in ordinance.
The one he
Right,
presented.
okay. So, since we're making changes, the village clerk has asked that each committee put their own agenda out. It may behoove us to remove that, and that way there's no confusion. We're already making the change, it's already been practiced that each committee puts their own agenda out, so we should just remove that portion. I know that may have been in the original ordinance, but again, making changes, remove it, each committee can put their own agenda out. So there's no question of when, especially when in violation of the Open Meetings Act, when you got 3 trustees and blah, 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 who put the agenda out and whatever, there's no confusion. We can add that, that were the changes, Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate it, that's all.
All right, trustee Mears. Trustee Tate? Trustee Jones? Trustee Washington?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say, I'm piggybacking off of the diversity dinner. I have allergies, piggybacking off. I think it's very important for the community as a whole to try to come together as a commissioner. A part of being a commissioner for the Human Relations Commission is to bring unity and diversity to the community. And I think that in the community, respect is a very needed value that we need to all have one another. I've heard that word thrown around tonight. This person has no respect for that person. This person has no respect. You know, there were no community organizations that came and participated with the diversity dinner, and the commissioners, we worked very hard to make that dinner happen. Our president and our secretary went throughout the community and passed out flyers, tried to get people to set up to come to the diversity dinner. It was free. We asked people to bring a potluck. Those that could not bring a potluck, they could still just come anyway. But when you have people in the community that's stirring up racism and division and trying to work against what we're trying to do as a commission, sometimes to some people that could be disheartening. My mother named me Linda. My legal name is Linda Washington House. People call me Bobblehead and call me all kinds of names. I can think of several appropriate names out there for certain individuals. When people go on Facebook and talk about you, and they happen to have flowers and animals, and talk about things you say and things you do on Facebook. And I have tried to address some of those people who I thought that those pages belong to, because I am approachable every Tuesday. I'm right here. Whatever you want to ask me, you can ask me. And I'm just saying that if you want respect, you need to give respect. And I'm asking anyone that don't know my name, I'm just letting you know for the record that my name is Linda Washington House. I call you by your name, and I would appreciate you calling me the same. Anything that you want to know about me, you don't have to go on Facebook, although that's your info, because that's what we do. But I'm right here every Tuesday, and you can address me anytime you need to. So if I have a question that I want to know from you, I have no problem addressing you. And that concludes my report.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, one question, INJ, 6 INJ, you skipped over those two? Okay, because, I'm sorry, because it seemed like the reason why I'm asking, it seemed to be redundant. Yeah, it seems redundant.
No, actually, what is the resolution that, if you look at it, it says a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement, and J is motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement. You both have reviewed these in committee.
Yes.
They're two separate documents. But you have to approve the resolution authorizing the execution of the intergovernmental agreement before you can approve the intergovernmental agreement.
What was the time? Ask for a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Makes just as much sense.